Greetings, Pod fans!
It's day 29 of PodVHEDA.
Pod videos himself every day in April.
And today I want to tell a story from my past, because, I don't know, I just remembered it there, and it kind of has to do with teenage discos, which, if you've ever been to one, it was a weird experience. And this is the story about why I went to one. Ever. So, the story happens, like, I guess a month or maybe more, it's been a while, before I went to this disco. I was in metalwork class, doing the metal thing, filing stuff, you know, having all that fun, and I was just talking away to my friend, as you do, because those kind of classes, those practical classes, they're not very formal. You can just chat away as long as you're getting your work done. So one of the cool kids in my class decided, I can't remember what exactly the context or why he said this, or if it was just, you know, he thought, this will be funny. But he made reference to the fact that, you know, I should suck off my friend. That's basically what he said. And me, having a bit of a, I like talking back to people when they're doing stuff just to be rude. So I said the exact same thing back to him about his, like, best friend. And apparently this wasn't okay. Him saying this to me, perfectly fine, but me coming back with the exact same thing, not even a comeback, this pissed him off. So later that day, at lunch, I'm sitting with my friends, eating, just having the bants, and this guy comes up with two of his friends, and I'm like, hello, and he puts me in a headlock, and I'm a terrible person, so you know, it really didn't hurt. He wasn't doing a good job at this. I guess, you know, he hadn't had much experience in headlocking. But I just laughed through the entire experience, and it lasted like a minute or so, and then he just, with me laughing, he decided to stop. And I'm like, okay, well that was fun, see ya. So I can't remember what came next, but the next part of the story is another day in metalwork, where his friend, the guy that I had talked about, basically pulled me aside while the teacher was distracted showing someone something on the lathe. And basically he pulls me aside, and I believe he put me in a headlock then, and that hurt a bit more. This guy knew what he was doing, but being a piece of shit, I just kind of dealt with it and was like, okay, thanks. So fast forward the couple of months or whatever it was, and my friends are going to this teenage disco, and, you know, because my mom was friends with, you know, moms of my friends, she decided, oh, do you want to go? And I was like, yeah, sure. Never done this kind of thing. I'm a super awkward boy. I have no idea what I'm doing. Also, I was told that it was a big thing where people would just pull down people's pants. So basically, I was wearing a pair of tracksuit because I had no idea what fashion was. And I tightened them to the everlast and then tied them really freaking tight. So even me going to the bathroom, it was an effort. But let's fast forward to around like halfway through the thing, and I'm hanging out with my friends, and, you know, these two guys, the two guys from the story earlier, come up to me, and they just kind of, like, grab me and walk me away, and I'm like, what's happening? What do you want? Do you want to say something to me? And I get an uppercut just directly there, and I'm like, whoa, and as soon as I look around, they're after disappearing into the crowd, and I'm like, okay. It was a very strange experience, and then I had to lie to my mom about this bruise that was on my jaw, because at the time I was like, I don't want to involve parents. I don't, like, that's a lot of effort, you know? There's no real harm done. So I ended up just leaving it, and that was the end of it. But I never went to a teenage disco again. I guess that kind of ruined the whole experience for me. And I guess then, after that, I became a lot more of a nerd, even though I was a ridiculously nerdy boy who collected Warhammer and stuff like that. But yeah, that was my one teenage disco experience. It was an interesting one, and it was strange because, you know, these two guys were like the cool kids. And, you know, I had never thought that they were cool because I was not cool, so there was just a thing where I was like, yeah, they've got loads of friends, but they're kind of That's basically my story. I haven't really seen those guys since, you know, since school, which I doubt they would even remember me. I didn't have a beard back then. At the time, I think it was like third year, or second or third year, so whatever age people are then, it's like 13, 14, something like that. But yeah, that's just another look into my past. I've been a nerd my whole life. I think that was the strangest experience of bullying I've ever had. I can't really think of any other ones where people went out of their way just to be rude to me. But yeah, it was a weird escalation thing where, I got punched in the face. But after it, I didn't cry out. I didn't go, ah, and involve anyone. I just went back to my friends. It was, I don't know. It was a weird time in my life. But yeah, I guess that's all for today. Bullies suck, and it really doesn't make any sense what they do. So if anyone is watching this and is going through bullying at the moment, maybe don't do what I did. Involving people is a good idea. As I am now an adult, I see that just involve people, they'll figure it out, Actually, I don't know, because I don't know much about it, and I don't know, will this just make it worse? Do talk to someone. If you're feeling that you are being bullied, just go out and talk to someone. I don't know why I'm trying to do this, but, I've been there, it's weird. Tormentors are not the funnest kind of people. Just keep your chin up, it gets better as life goes on. Don't let it bog you down too much. That can get bad. But yeah, don't know, that was fun. Just like an actual story from my past rather than just something that happened a couple of nights ago. That was fun to talk about. But I will talk to you tomorrow. Maybe streaming tonight, it's a Sunday. Got nothing better to do. So, I will talk to you when I talk to you. Tomorrow's the last day. Slow on.